trash. Oh, what do you hate, women with ding-dongs?
Yes.
Wow, this is freaked out. I cannot remember.
Good, now we're having fun. Quiet.
Live from the new kingdom, it's the OBDM podcast. Now, here's your hosts, Midnight Mike, Joe, and Rich.
You ever seen a sliced banana before?
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to another fun-filled podcast adventure. Hooray! My name's Midnight Mike, and the image feed is totally messed up. I'll fix that here in a second, because Cretchard is over there.
What'd you do?
I don't know.
What'd you do?
What'd you do?
Let me fix it. Don't adjust the dots. Let me fix it.
I'm not clicking anything.
There we go. Boom. Lined up. I think we're good. Yeah.
Yoo-hoo!
All right. You did it.
Oh, I hit the glory hole right here.
I did. I hit the glory hole by lining up the image feed.
I'll write that song next, the Glory Hole song.
You know, there are certain AI, lyrics you can't put in there. I get rejected sometimes. If you're,
What are you putting in there?
like if you, Alex Jones, like if you take like a rant of his, like verbatim, like turning the frogs gay, like if you take that monologue he
They're
does,
probably just pulling on gay or something.
and no, like even like maybe I had to change the word gay to fruity, and that seems to get by some of the.
When we get to the one that I dropped in the carrot shop yesterday, I got it to say all sorts of stuff that maybe isn't cool. I don't know.
We'll find out.
It's off color, let's say.
So I have been releasing for the people on the Patreon. I put up a new collection of AI songs. So if people listen to the end of the podcast episode, oftentimes I'll put like an AI song that is somewhat related to the news items we cover. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. And I've been releasing those in packs of like 10 to 12 AI songs. I put up pack 1 and 2. And there's some hit songs in there. Like pack 1 has the grocery store in Michigan song. So that's a really good one that people seem to like. It was about a news story about a woman who lived in a grocery store sign in Michigan.
She lived on the sign on top of a grocery store.
Yes, yeah, of course. And then Stan wrote me. It's like, hey. What about the song you played at the end of the last episode, the Soundgarden Bigfoot song? And that one's going up in pack 3. And I realized, like, I'm just writing hit after hit of Soundgarden AI song. I created one today.
Is this one that you're playing right now? Is that the
This is the Bigfoot.
Too big to be a gorilla thing or something?
Too big to be a gorilla. Or too big to be a bear or something like that. And it's got a good chorus. Yeah, that's a good one. That's going to go in AI song pack 3. And I just wrote another hit just before the show called Jeremy Renner, because we're talking about Jeremy Renner on one of today's featured stories. And so
you're going to print out those lyrics and mail them to Jeremy Renner?
I might. Or I might just tweet at him. I say,
Hey, listen to this.
I wrote the song about you to honor you and all your, spiritual discoveries you've had with your near-death experience, which we'll be talking about. And Cretchard, you just wrote one, and it's called "Don't Look in That Shed."
Yeah, it's about the news story directly above it too. So
okay, so maybe should we talk about the news story first?
Yeah, I guess we can.
We have to. If we're before we play the AI song, we got to talk about the news story. And trust me, people, we will get to Alex Jones clips of the week, but we have to take care of this first. It's very important. Here we go. We're going to talk about this. Police find naked man in Lowe's display shed with Vaseline and a telephone. Holy moly. That's crazy.
Oh, really?
This is
Yeah, and this one actually, this was from like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I initially pulled this on the 16th of May. No, 15th of May. And Skip passed it on a couple of shows, and then it came up again. For whatever reason, these things they float back to the surface in some of the news feeds. So I was inspired, because also, Mike, you were releasing all the AI songs, and I was like, this sounds like a good opportunity for an AI song.
and this story is great for lyrical inspiration. It's kind of like the record companies, like you guys put out a great hit with the Michigan grocery store sign, and it's like you find another story. And here's another one about a display shed of Lowe's, another great news story that is terrific for lyrical content. Just as a background, the Slidell police responding to a call at Lowe's parking lot on Sunday evening reportedly found a naked man inside a display shed engaged in lewd behavior. Oh, boy.
I'm upset by this.
According to police, the call came in around 5 p.m. That's a bit early, but I guess you gotta unwind after a hard day's work.
It gives you time afterwards. You got some things to do in the evening. So
Yeah. And this happened on May 11th. Witness reported a naked man inside one of the store's outdoor tool sheds, which are typically used to show customers various storage options for purchases. Officers arrived at the scene and began searching the line of sheds on display. It wasn't until the fourth and fifth shed that they located the suspect lying on his back, pants around his ankles, using an open container of Vaseline and electric device while allegedly masturbating.
Oh, really?
Man, I got mixed emotions about this one.
to be fair, this guy knows what he likes.
Like, he heard they were searching for him. Like he heard probably the commotion, their police cars showing up. That didn't stop him. He knew.
He's like, I gotta go.
I gotta finish. It's either now or never.
Maybe that's part of his fetish. He's like, not only am I getting caught, but not only in a public place, but it's the risk of getting caught.
Oh, so he's a voyeur. He likes to maybe be watched, or is it? He's not a voyeur. He likes to be voyeured, I guess is the.
Yes, I guess so.
Something like that. But with tasers drawn, police say the officers ordered the man to pull up his pants and roll onto his stomach to be handcuffed. He probably liked that.
Also part of his fetish, yeah. What? Hey, officer, do you need to cuff me?
Please, heaven forbid, take me to jail.
Oh, I've fallen down again.
The man reportedly admitted to his actions, telling officers he was watching YouTube at the time. Well, he probably lied.
What are you doing there? I'm watching YouTube. Are
yeah,
you really?
right. Oh, sure. He was arrested on one count of obscenity and booked into jail. The man is not from Slidell, according to police, who did not release his name. We got to find out who this guy is. It's probably on public record at this point. So
Tom Pappert.
Maybe.
I don't think we need to blame Tom Pappert for this.
I know who it was.
Oh, who was it? No, I don't think it was Tom.
Tom Shimabukuro?
No, it wasn't.
Nah, it's the other guy who always takes credit for things.
Hulk Hogan.
You think Hulk Hogan was in a Lowe's utility shed with a jar of Vaseline laying down his back while watching YouTube? I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, anyways, there's a long way to go to play this AI song that Kretcher wrote. So let's listen to a little bit of this, people. Come on. Oh, it's kind of grungy. I like it. A little, maybe Alice in Chains influence, maybe. It's got to have a kick-ass chorus.
I was working the floor at the big box store, stocking screws by old plumbing out for. Heard a noise from the sheds, gave me quite a fright, like a raccoon wrestling a flashlight. So I tiptoed out with my radio on, heard a low weird groan and a slippery moan. Peeked inside shed 3 with a shaky hand. Oh lordy, there's
play the at the end of the show. We'll play the full song, the debut of "Don't Look in That Shed."
And just for the OBDM listeners, I did work in the phrase "cranking his knob."
Oh yes, you got to.
I'm going to get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
Just a little bit beyond the breaking point. So, there we go, people. Welcome to the show. If this is your first time listening to OBDM, well, I'm sorry, but we have to get things out of the way.
We apologize.
Yes, we apologize, but we're going to get to some Alex Jones clips of the week, I believe, right now.
Piss.
Oh, yes, piss. We're going to go back to the 22nd of May. Here we go. It's a 15-second clip.
Alex Jones is full of crap. Call the police. Come out and announce, we want to find our Joe. I just killed 2 people. I want to talk about Grok. Mr. Super Creepy. She's free game to be raped. There needs to be a masturbation time in kindergarten. This sucks, and it sucks bad.
That's my favorite. That's my new favorite.
That reminds me of his declaration that electric motorcycles suck.
Yes, he does declare things that suck, you know.
This sucks, and it sucks bad.
Yeah, I like that little add that little tag in at the end to let us know that it's a bad one. All right, we're going to move on to the 23rd. Here we go.
2 + 2 = 7. Just rip those breasts right out. Kill all the Jews. Look at that creepy, disgusting person and push, the Jews into the sea. That's quite a piggy bank.
All right. Oh, geez, I misfired right there. There we go. Piggy bank. And now we are going to go. It looks like Monday. Oh, we had Memorial Day. It was a long Memorial Day weekend, I suppose. And there was a rebroadcast on Monday. So nothing from Monday, people. And he was out Wednesday. So we have the one last clip here. And this is from Tuesday the 27th. So buckle up.
Grok sounds like a mix between Bill Gates and the Southern Poverty Law Center. They can shoot a missile right into the crack of your ass. This is really, 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 really bad. This is your daddy. This is your mommy. We are in World War IV. We're in grandma's house. We're in their backyard. We're on their doorstep. What is Joe talking about here? With what looks like a penis.
And there we go, people. There we go. That is the Alex Jones clips of the week.
I do like how accurate our missiles have gotten, apparently.
Yeah. Well, you'd imagine when they first rolled out these guided missiles, at least that we know of on a large scale, what in Iraq War I back in the 1990, 1991, the technology probably has advanced considerably. I would hope. We spend trillions of dollars. Should be the best that there is. So,
how did he describe it again?
Let me just download that clip real quick. I'm gonna download it, and we'll keep that. I download them all, and I got to organize them. But here we go. This is fine. He said, right here.
They can shoot a missile right into the crack of your ass.
Right there. Okay. It's a small target. Well, depending on whose crack it is, it could be small or quite large. But
do you think we could meme that into reality until we get Trump to say that in a news conference when he's threatening Iran or somebody?
I think it's a possibility because it does show our military prowess, like how good our technology is. And Trump does like to brag about our big, beautiful weapons and how technologically advanced we are. We have stuff that, oh my God, you don't even want to even know about because it's so crazy good. And I think it's a good analogy that he might be able to use. But you got to get it to somebody like Barron. If we can get it to his kid and have his kid keep saying it like our weapons are so good, we could hit the crack. How exactly? They
can shoot a missile right into the crack of your ass.
Yeah, if we can get Barron Trump to say that, I think Trump might start saying that to sound hip. Maybe. I hope we can try. Oh, boy, people. We have a lot of information on today's show, a lot of news stories. I did do like a Steven Seagal like preview.
Oh, yeah. How's that going?
I don't know. I did like a Steven Seagal preview. I tried to update his voice. I don't think it worked. I wanted to give like all the stories that we could potentially talk about on today's show, and then have Steven Seagal kind of rephrase it to kind of give people like a preview of what we might be talking about. But it might be stupid. I'll try for a few seconds here.
All right, listen up. This week on OBDM1297, we're diving headfirst into some wild territory. We'll hear Jeremy Renner recount his brush with the void.
This is pretty good.
Then plunge into the twisted realm of DMT entities, machine elves, goblins, even dead relatives. On the political front, Ohio's lawmakers are wrestling with a marijuana bill that could yank legalization right out from under voters. We'll also unpack the rise of AI homework machines, Sam Altman's all-seeing orb, and a CIA spy network hidden in a Star Wars fan site. And, of course, the paranormal heat is on, haunted dolls on the loose, Area 51 pineal probes, and an alien sphere mystery in Colombia. It's strange. It's bizarre. Don't miss it.
This sucks. It sucks bad.
It's not the best. I agree, Jones.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than it was.
We're getting there with so I'm just trying to
still need a little more whisper.
Yeah, it's got to be a little bit more subtle.
What'd you call that last week? The Steven Seagal-atron?
I think the Seagal-atron 5,000.
5,000.
Or 3,000. I forget which one I used. But
I think it was 5,000.
Yeah, it could have been 5,000. That's a very good model number. But without any delay, let's get on to some headlines and some news stories here. I know people will probably complain you guys are talking about AI too much, using too much AI, and maybe we are, but we kind of just got to go with the flow of the show. It's what's happening right now. Things will change. Like, for instance, with this story, Jeremy Renner speaks candidly about his near-death experience.
I'm upset by this.
He's finally coming clean. This is the guy who played Hawkeye in the Avengers movies. He's had his own TV series on Disney Plus. He is a big-time movie star. And for him to come out and speak so openly about his near-death experience, it's a big deal. I wish more celebrities did such things. I think now they are. Now that some of the taboo about talking about the paranormal, that it's kind of lifted a little bit. I think the gates are kind of open. It's not so frowned upon anymore. But back in, I'm sorry, go ahead, Gretchen.
I was going to say, was that movie he was in the 90s, like National Lampoon's, like not road trip, something like that, right?
It might have been. I think there's a National Lampoon's road trip. It wasn't Van Wilder, was it?
No, it was before that. You're getting a phone call. You should answer that.
It's my wife.
Oh, now you're in Dutch.
Hello, sweetheart. You're on the show.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. You're on the podcast.
Oh, shit. Sorry, everyone.
It's all right.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I hope it's all going well.
So far, so good. We're talking about Jeremy Renner's near-death experience. We're just getting into that right now.
Ooh, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, and then we're going to be talking about DMT entities. So it's an interesting show. At least I hope so.
Oh, well, you've been digging a lot into that, so that should be cool. Okay, well,
you want to say hi to Gretchen? Gretchen's over there.
Hi, Gretchen.
Yeah.
Hello.
Sorry for the interrupt.
That's all right. I will. Okay. I will give you a call afterwards. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Well, now you're in trouble.
No, I'm not in trouble. She forgot that I did a show on Wednesday. She's out with her sisters right now. So.
By the way, National Lampoon's Senior Trip, 1995.
Ah, good movie.
Is it though?
I don't know.
That was one of those staples of basic cable in the 90s.
Well, back to Jeremy Renner. He's a big-time movie star. At least he was. We'll see if he comes back. But back in 2003, the actor was almost killed when he was crushed by a 14,000-pound snowcat on New Year's Day.
That's a fat cat.
That's a big boy, yeah.
Oh, it's a okay.
So it's like a snowmobile or a snow moving machine, right?
It's a snow tank.
Snow tank, okay.
Yeah, a snowcat has tracked.
Okay.
Tracked wheels, tracks.
They're pretty cool machines, yeah.
It's for getting to places where you can't normally get to during the winter.
Well, Renner, who is perhaps best known for his role as Hawkeye in the Marvel movies, had a metaphysical experience that at the time of the accident would go on to change his outlook on life. Quote, "It's a great relief is all I can say," he said recently on the Let's Talk Off Camera podcast. Quote, "It's a wonderful, wonderful relief to be removed from your body. It is the most exhilarating peace you could ever feel. It's the highest adrenaline rush, but the peace that comes with it, it's magnificent. It's so magical. And I didn't want to come back. I remember, and I was brought back, and I was so pissed off. I came back, and I'm like, ah." He describes the afterlife as a place of pure knowing where time doesn't exist. Quote, "Time is a human construct. This is so remedial. Language, all these things. It's all knowing, all experiencing, all at the same time, all at once," he said. "It makes me a man that didn't want to come back, really, to be able to be back here and live on my own terms as the captain of my own ship." Fortunately, Renner went on to make a remarkable recovery from his injuries. He is now has a very different way of looking at life. Quote, this is the final one right here. "I gave so much value to things that have zero value. So I invested into no stocks or bonds. I invested into no crypto or Bitcoin. I invest into love, in my shared relationships that I experience with love, because that's the only thing that you can take with you." So that is Jeremy Renner's take on coming back. He didn't really want to come back. He was pretty happy being dead, it sounds like. And that's the, I would say, by and large, people that have a positive near-death experience, that's their feelings. Like, oh, I feel free of this heavy body and surrounded by this love. It sounds like, to me, Jeremy is probably going to heaven, you know? A lot of people that have near-death experiences experience that. Some, they may see the devil, demons, fire, flames, burning the skin, torture. But hopefully not too many people experience those NDEs. Now, I think, now that he's all recovered, I think Marvel and Disney could use him. The word on the street is that this new Avengers movie that they're trying to shove out the door here for next year, it's not going so well. They don't really have a lead actor. They could easily get Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye, because I think his character's still alive in that universe, and get Hawkeye back and get that Chris Pratt guy who plays the leader in the Guardians of the Galaxy, and those two guys could lead the new Avengers, and they could save Disney. And this guy can make a lot of money for his loved ones, and then he can go peacefully and die at some point in time, which it looks like he's looking forward to doing. So,
I've lost track on the
movies,
Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know who's around anymore. It's gotten so messy. At a certain point, they're going to have to reboot the reboots.
Yeah, they are. And the problem is they're so invested into this timeline that it's going to be tough to do that. But I think they're going to try to reboot the X-Men now that Disney owns the X-Men. They're going to try to reboot that. The problem is Hugh Jackman. Everyone still loves Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and it seems to be working. And still making box office bucks with Deadpool and Wolverine. So it's a tough one for him. But Jeremy Renner almost died, didn't want to come back, and hats off to him. But that kind of leads into my next topic I want to talk about, which is DMT entities. So let's get over there and talk about DMT entities. Because I think when you die, Cratchit, I think it's, you can quote me on this, and please fact check me, that when you die, the dying process does release DMT into your brain, and there are similarities between what people experience in the DMT realm when you smoke it or ingest it in some way and the process of dying. There are some similarities. And so there might be some crossover. It's a big crossover, like a DC Marvel crossover of what's happening when you die and smoking DMT. Now, I haven't smoked DMT. I would like to at some point in time. It's just it's kind of tough to acquire.
I've not heard the DMT being released on death, but I've heard the people describing heavy DMT experiences or that on ketamine or salvia or any of those, like it's like that it's like a near death experience. So I think there's some similarities.
Let's see. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT: is DMT released during human death? Now, this is ChatGPT. So it says it remains unproven, but is a popular hypothesis with some suggestive evidence and a lot of speculation. So, okay. Is DMT naturally produced in the human body? Yes, DMT is naturally produced and detected in the human body, including in the blood, urine, and some other fluids. So, there you go. Okay.
That's now it makes you wonder, can you like scare people to get them to generate more before death?
Yes.
So this is a shades of
I know what you're saying. Like adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome or leveraging adrenaline at different times. Yeah, there's different. Yeah.
So unconfirmed if DMT is released at death, at least according to ChatGPT 4.0. But for the sake of this, we're going to say that maybe it is. Okay. And we're going to talk about specifically DMT entities. I got a book a few months ago, and it's the Field Guide to DMT Entities. And initially, the book starts off with what DMT is, how people are using it, and there are certain groups, scientific groups, like one or two in Europe, one or two in the United States, which are trying to develop ways to do longer-term DMT trips. Well, like your average DMT trip when you smoke it lasts for anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, and then you're kicked back down to reality here. But some of the longer term, if you do like a slow drip, they are claiming that they could have multiple hours inside that DMT realm. And they're meeting different strange creatures, and they're trying to map out this weird DMT realm. Some groups are sharing information, others are keeping it pretty guarded. There are different types of entities. And in this book, this guy is just gathering reports from these groups, other people who have written books about doing psychedelics and encountering entities. He's also gone on to various forums like Reddit or Facebook to kind of collate all these different types of experiences and funnel it down to the most common types of entities. And he's got it down to pretty much right around 20 different types of entities. We're talking about machine elves, mantis and insectoids, reptilians, the grays, blue and purple beings. You got clowns, you got the gatekeepers, you got spirit guides, you got Jesus Christ, you got the Virgin Mary, you got angels, you got demons, you got chemical spirits, you have God, and you also have ancestors and dead relatives that you could see during a DMT trip as well. And we can't cover all these. There's so many different stories in here. I'm just going to try to hit on some of the highlights here and some of the things that I thought to be interesting with some of these entities. Now, throughout the book, it starts off pretty straightforward of just recounting people's experiences with psychedelics, specifically DMT, but it does go into ayahuasca and doing acid trips and just mushroom trips. So he was kind of gathering all these different psychedelic experiences. And then I would say about 1/4 to 1/3 of the way through, he started to include a lot more elements of what people experienced during UFO abductions, and conveying stories about the Greys outside of like a DMT trip or psychedelic trip. He was just conveying some more UFO-related stuff, whether it's like the reptoids or the Greys or the insectoids or mantis people. And he didn't stay straight on with just DMT entities. He was kind of blurring the lines between what people experience with UFO abductions and non-psychedelic trips and psychedelic trips. I kind of wish he would just be like kind of factual and just report these trips. And so he kind of blurred the lines a little bit and was leaning, I think, a little heavily into the UFO abductions. But here's just some stats. So 94% of the people that have used DMT reported some sort of encounter with an entity. 50% report that they described entities with various types of intentions. Like there was some sort of communication. They had some sort of intent upon the user of the DMT. 96% saw the entities as conscious and intelligent in some way, with over 70% thinking that they were benevolent in some way, and they had like their well-being at hand. And one of the common themes throughout the book is that they were trying to establish, especially in a lot of these groups that are trying to do long-term DMT trips, how can they confirm that these DMT entities exist outside of your mind? Like, does the information given to you by these entities, can they give that same information to somebody else? Is there this shared information cloud bubble out there, or are all of these entities simply a product of your subconscious and mind? There's some anecdotal evidence within the book that the information that is given to you is outside of your consciousness, like you're tapping into this higher level of information and consciousness, and it exists outside of you. But then there are other reports and scientific studies in the book saying, well, we don't have any information to support that. All we have are anecdotal reports and people's stories, and it's not easily testable or provable. So it's still kind of up in the air whether or not this information lives outside of you. People I've talked to think it does. Like, this information lives outside of you. It's you're tapping into this weird realm of information and you're pulling things out of it. But I guess the most common thing that or the most popularized are the machine elves. Alex Jones talked about the DMT machine elves. Joe Rogan, I think, pretty much popularized or mainstream DMT. Am I wrong about that, Cratchit? Like, I don't really know about it
itself, but definitely the Clockwork Elves, I think most people know from Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I would say so. Like, that's where I first heard the term. Him and Alex Jones, they really brought it to the forefront, and in that kind of that large clique of people that listen to those shows and people. But the DMT machine elves are, I think, the most popularized version. But this story right here goes to a different level. It's like there's some sort of hive mechanism with these machine elves when you cross over. And so on this particular one, this Terrence Turner's breakthrough happened on a high dose of DMT. He encountered this, not only machine elves, but the machine elf queen. So I'll read through this. And this is his account of his experience right here. Everything appeared very wispy and dark. I was capable of making out what was going on, but there wasn't much light flowing into this world. Next, they came to me, the self-transforming machine elves. From all directions, they appeared around me. The entire time this was going on, I heard very odd banging noises. I remained a stationary observer, and I did not think of moving anywhere, and so I stayed where I was, not even moving a fraction of one of my muscles. Perhaps I thought they weren't even aware of my silent presence. I came upon this assumption, and a little too soon, however, before I knew it, they were starting to go through me. Yes, they went through me. I first thought they were bumping into me. However, it turned out that when I turned my head around after an elf supposedly bumped into me, that elf appeared on the other side of me. The elf must have gone through me. Nonetheless, despite turning my head, I remained stationary, and they continued to go right through me and my soul. I definitely knew now that I didn't have a body or a physical, tangible, or corporeal entity that I might be used to. So these elves simply go right through me, one after the other. So I was simply comprised of a pure soul. I did not have a body. The self-transforming machine elves didn't go through all my soul, but only portions of it. Together, combined, they might have surpassed through my entire surface area of it. Still, one by one, they kept entering and leaving different portions of my soul. They did not appear to walk, but rather they appeared to glide. It felt as if they were embedding me with certain unique types of perplexing information. They were changing me. As each one entered my soul, he or she implanted their own and unique piece of data inside me. With their powers combined, they were putting together the pieces of a puzzle within my soul. At the time, I couldn't make out what the elves intended with this puzzle or what they were trying to convey. So I'll pause it right there. This is where it gets interesting. So I would say hardcore Christians they would say, and they suggest in this book, that anytime you do psychedelics or drink, you're opening yourself up to the darkness, the dark side. And maybe it isn't good that you're taking these drugs and you're having these machine elves tamper with your soul. You catch my drift there, Cratchit? It's not good. Like, your soul is where it's at, and maybe you just leave it alone, and maybe you don't ask the machine elves or allow the machine elves to tamper with it in any way.
Well, hey, if you don't want that soul, there's a bunch of alien grays out there who don't have souls. They need yours.
That is true, and that is a possibility.
Maybe you could sell it.
Well, you could. I think there's a lot of people who have done that. But back to the story here, and it says, and then it happened. The elf goddess came to me. The psychedelic herself had arrived. She simply materialized out of nowhere. I saw her form. She was extremely tall, dark, and elegantly beautiful. Her skin was a dark green, as were her eyes. So that's incredible. A dark green-skinned elf.
What color skin?
Green skin.
He had green skin.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, right there.
He had green balls.
It was a she, so we don't know. We didn't know about that.
Don't know about that.
Her fingers were slender and long. Her feet were proportionally sized and dazzling. Her hair was rigorously wavy and came far down, all the way down to her waist. She was in the nude, and her breasts were very voluptuous, yet perfectly shaped. She came with her hands up, a clear sign of peace. Suddenly, I heard her. She didn't even open her mouth, though. She spoke inside of my head without the slightest trace of having moved her mouth. Do you understand what my elves have taught you? She asked me kindly. I don't think so, I responded truthfully. Allow me to help out, she said. I have been seen by many people, some who've made a mark in history, such as Paramedes. Yes, I am the goddess of Paramedes, the divine figure that appeared to him in his mystical poem. Paramedes, like you, used to smoke DMI. I think it's DMT. And that is how he came about configuring his philosophical apparatus. And that's the end of him meeting the DMT machine elf queen. And so apparently she comes to a lot of different people and helps them figure out whatever puzzle is going on in their life. I don't know if this person came upon a philosophical awakening, but he did write a number of books that people do read in regards to psychedelic spirituality and the nature of this universe. So maybe his work has yet to be fully realized. Would you ever consider smoking DMT?
Do I get to see the green skin lady?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a guarantee.
He had green skin.
Then I'm sold. That's it.
I would. I'd be open to it. I would be open to it. You can face some weird stuff. Like the next section, they go into mantis and insectoids, and these DMT experiences don't seem to be as positive as the machine elves. These tend to mirror a lot of what people experience during alien abductions when they meet a mantis or an insectoid. You're being operated on. A lot of these stories have to deal with these people, whether they're in an alien abduction scenario or a DMT trip. They wake up in their DMT trip on an operating table, and they're being hovered over by these mantis people, and they're performing some sort of operation on their body, oftentimes operating on their brain. And it can be a very terrifying experience for the DMT user. Now, not all of them are that morbid or sterile or clinical in nature, but by and large, it looks like it's 50-50. You're kind of gambling when you meet these guys, and they like to probe, they like to test, and they really seem to have an uncaring demeanor when interacting with humans, whether it's UFO or in the DMT realm, according to this book. And then there are the lizard people, the reptilians, which is also another crossover between UFO lore and the DMT realm. People have met these not only on DMT trips, but using ayahuasca, mushrooms, and in Terrence Turner's book, The DMT Chronicles. That's the guy who had the machine elf trip. He describes his encounter with a reptilian entity while on a breakthrough dose of DMT. And he talks about this time, however, it felt like I was in a different place, one that appeared to be a room rather than a corridor. Suddenly, something stirred to my left. I looked towards that direction, and it was an entity, and it was a rather large entity. It possessed an immense body with animal-like characteristics. It appeared to have a reptilian structure with very interesting qualities, such as a massive array of colored scales all over its body. It was an entity that could change its external color in order to blend with its encompassing surroundings, like a chameleon, I guess. This quality, you could say, what's that?
Is it like a karma chameleon?
Yeah, exactly. This quality, you could say, is similar to one of that of a lizard or reptilian life form may possess. Due to its own intentions or individual will, this reptilian entity was externally camouflaged, but was this being an elf? Because he had just met the machine elves. Is this like another elf? He didn't know. But it goes on to say, most definitely not an elf, said the psychedelic quietly inside my health, in his head. Then what is it? I asked curiously. It's just part of the color, the chemical or DMT said. Slowly, you need to get past the color if you want to see the elves. And so that was his brief encounter with the reptilians. And also mixed encounters here with these reptilians in the DMT realm. But also people encountered the grays, just like the grays that people see in UFO encounters. And this is where it gets kind of dicey in this part of the book, where it's tough to distinguish, especially when he recounts people's UFO encounters and alien encounters in real life versus DMT. And this is also something that has been conveyed by people who have walked up on a UFO. There is a fairly significant story, I think from South America, that happened in the mid-'90s, where this young man, right around 14, he happened upon a saucer that was landed down. He was like, oh, cool, I'm going to go check it out. As he got close to the saucer, he started to see dead relatives. He had almost like a near-death experience as he approached this flying saucer that was landed. And then once he left the presence of this flying saucer, that near-death experience evaporated. It's almost as if these UFOs can go through the spirit realm or the DMT realm, but they are surrounded by it. Once you get into their field, you enter that realm, like it or not. And so that maybe that makes sense that a lot of times when people are smoking DMT, they're actually transporting themselves into the same reality as these UFO people, whatever that may mean. But so we all kind of know about the Greys. They're also very sterile. Their interactions feel like examinations rather than interpersonal relationships or exchange of information. They have a mission and they're on it, and they don't really care about you too much. Then there are the blue and purple beings, which seem to be a lot more spiritual in nature. They seem to have a much more positive outlook, and they want to have they have a vested interest in your positive enlightenment. And when you meet these people in the DMT realm, then you have the clowns and jesters and tricksters, and a lot of times these creatures, Cratchit, they'll flick you off. They'll try to antagonize you. And there's story upon story in this book of these gestures, like walking up to you, these clowns, and flicking you off.
What the fuck?
And it's like they're trying to get a reaction out of you. They're trying to provoke you in some way. And this is what Rogan said.
You think it's tied to like an emotional response?
Possibly.
Because then your adrenochrome gets all pumped up and they can eat your
harvest
hypothalamus.
That. I see. They're trying to provoke a chemical reaction in your body.
Right.
I see.
And they eat the delicious hypothalamus from the back of your brain.
So here's an excerpt from the book. Other people have reported the same experience with the gestures flipping them off. Comedian and podcast host Joe Rogan has described how jester entities on DMT gave him the middle finger as an attempt to teach him that he was being too defensive. Rogan said, I always felt like it's a lesson. And he goes on to say here, I always feel like it's time to go to school. Sit down. Here's what's going on. One of the last ones, most profound ones, was a bunch of gestures that were all giving me the finger. They were all circling around me, giving me the finger. Joel holds up a middle finger with both hands to show everyone. It's teaching you. If you're tense, if you're reacting negatively to this gesture, giving you the finger, like how do you feel about yourself? Are you in constant defensive mode? Then when I sort of relaxed myself, they started wagging their finger back and forth like, yeah, that's it. It was very, very strange.
Wow.
Rogan's blown away about his own experience.
Right.
And then there are DMT gatekeepers and threshold guardians. There are spirit guides. There are Eastern, Middle Eastern, and indigenous American deities that you could meet in the DMT realm. You could even meet Jesus Christ if you want. Like in this instance, this guy claimed to have met Space Jesus. In a personal communication, one person described their encounter with Space Jesus on an ayahuasca journey. Quote, I met Space Jesus after an intense ayahuasca experience. I call him Space Jesus because he was with a small crew of men. They were in Star Trek type uniforms, but Space Jesus was in a white robe and was glowing slightly. We spoke for about 5 minutes and then shook hands. I touched his robe. We hugged, laughed. I then noticed a ship across the street above the corner of the house. I asked if that was their ship, and he said yes. He then said, "Do not believe anything they say about me. Most of it is wrong. However, I did say that you will do all I have done and so much more." I watched them leave and beam up to the ship. I live in the Bronx, New York City, and I'm not religious. I did not even think he was real to begin with. So there's someone's encounter with Space Jesus right there. So very interesting.
Sound like Space Ghost?
Yeah, Space Jesus is basically saying, don't believe the hype. Beam me up. But to get back to what Jeremy Renner and his near-death experience, and a lot of times when people recall their near-death experience, they recall a tunnel of light where you meet ancestors, you meet loved ones, and they kind of greet you. They're there as almost like a welcoming party, and you're like, hey, this is not so bad.
This sucks, and it sucks bad.
Now, most people they feel loved and surrounded by this warm glow. Like there's one person on a DMT trip is claimed to have contact with spirits of dead animals or pets during these journeys. Someone said that they had the most beautiful 10-minute conversation with a dog they had to put down. And so that was a great experience for them. I would love to be able to have that conversation with my dog Bogey if I would smoke DMT, or anytime really. If he wants to visit me in my dreams, I'd love that too. But here's one story about smoking DMT and talking to dead relatives. I was visited by my deceased grandmother. It started off with the smell of her perfume, and then the melting of very specific colors from a painting that she always had hanging in her living room. It felt like a very unconditional love, and it brought me to tears. After the experience, I stopped taking opioids and I stopped drinking alcohol. As soon as I came back, a light bulb in my kitchen started flickering. It did this for a few weeks until I changed it. My grandmother was a baker and cooked most of her life for a living. So it makes sense that the kitchen light bulb would be the one affected. Ever since I had the experience, I started looking at life in a completely different way than what I did before. It saved my life, she said of the DMT experience. And so then it goes on to say, this is the little bit after, as bizarre as it may seem, it's also not uncommon in alien abduction reports for people to claim that they saw dead people aboard the spacecraft that they were abducted to or taken to. Alien abductees, such as author Whitley Strieber, describes this happening to him in his book, The Supernatural. Strieber saw a familiar face among the aliens that had abducted him. He said he saw a school friend that who later on in life joined the CIA. But later, Strieber writes, when I tried to look him up, I was appalled and confused to discover that he had died months before the night I was abducted. So, a very curious little thing right there. Just so happens that his schoolhood chum that he was friends with joined the CIA and then died before he saw him aboard an alien ship. So, but these stories go on and on and on. And some people claim to have conversations with Mother Gaia, the planet Earth, even talking to God. And there is a very, very long story about DMT fairies and everything that they bring to it. But I won't go into it right here. Maybe I'll read that story for the Patreon people, because it's super long, but very involved and very detailed with DMT fairies. So.
By the way, next time you cover this, you need to get Charlie on to talk about his experiences.
He saw The Matrix. Yeah.
I saw The Matrix 2 in the theaters, but it was different.
No, Charlie saw The Matrix in real life.
Right.
Same with my buddy Nate. My buddy Nate saw The Matrix too. I think it's a common thing. And that's one of the things that was not mentioned in that book. Thank you for bringing it up. It wasn't mentioned in the book about the nature of the reality. Like Charlie thinks that we live in a simulation, or that was what was shown to him during his trip. And same thing with my friend Nate. And so when it comes to the nature of this reality, that wasn't really described in the book. They just simply talked about the entities and encounters. So, but we'll move on. We got some headlines here and some other things to talk about. Let's stay on some of the weird stuff. The weird stuff. When we're talking about UFO and aliens, I'm going to bring this up on screen. This one's been going around. And this is titled Controversy Surrounds Alleged Finding of Alien Sphere in Colombia.
Oh, really?
This is a big boy. This has been going around the UFO community for a little bit.
There's been a lot of coverage of this. I've not dug into it. I mean, it looks like a salad bowl. So
could be a salad bowl. Could be an alien sphere. We don't know yet. We're trying to find out. And we will find out right now. Okay? We're gonna solve all the mysteries right now.
I'm trying to find out.
Yes, that's right. Many believe that the object is extraterrestrial in nature and that it even contains a message for humanity. Okay. It is arguably one of the most controversial UFO cases in recent months, and yet it is a story that simply refuses to disappear. Despite skepticism, the mainstream press continues to revisit it on a regular basis. The object in question, described as a silver metallic sphere roughly the size of a football or soccer ball, first drew attention in March when it was filmed darting and zigzagging through the sky over a town of Buga. I think that's what it is. Buga.
It's pronounced Bonnie Bridge.
Oh, it's Bonnie Bridge? Okay.
Yes.
It is the most well-traveled UFO airspace in the world. According to reports, the object allegedly landed somewhere nearby and was subsequently recovered by local authorities. Since then, it has been undergoing extensive examinations by a team of researchers. Now, I don't know if they get into this, but I think they said this thing was taken down by like a bolt of lightning or by some highly charged electric shock that brought this thing down.
By what?
It was hit by some piece of electricity that just kind of overloaded this thing, and it dropped to the ground.
By a bolt of lightning?
By a bolt of lightning, possibly.
A bolt of lightning?
Possibly. Do you have a bolt of lightning sound effect? I don't think I do.
I was hoping you had the one of Doc Brown saying a bolt of lightning.
No, I don't have.
You did.
No, I don't have Doc Brown.
Well, I'm making that up then.
Yeah. Do I have anything Doc Brown related? I don't think I do.
How do you not have any Doc Brown drops?
21 gigawatts!
That's all I got. That's all I got.
That's the same conversation where he says a bolt of lightning.
That's all I got.
That is weird.
One of these researchers, radiologist Dr. Jose Velasquez, maintains that the sphere exhibits no apparent welds or joints as would be expected if it were man-made. It's artificial in origin in that it shows no evidence of welding, and its internal structure is composed of high-density elements, his team wrote. More testing is needed to establish its origin. Why don't you just cut the sucker open at this point?
Yeah, where's the Russian guy with the drill?
Yeah, that guy drills into anything. That guy was just diving.
Take care of business.
He came across some sort of alien cucumber in the ocean and drilled that sucker. He didn't care. The researchers have also used AI to analyze symbols found on the sphere surface. And here's some of the symbols right there up on screen. It looks like a fine engraving, sure. I don't know if it's recognizable to anybody on this show. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. Almost kind of like Stargate-like. According to their findings, the inscription reads, so pay attention here, people, the origin of birth through union and energy is the cycle of transformation, meeting point of unity, expansion, and consciousness, individual consciousness.
That's crazy, man.
We interpret it as a message to humanity, encouraging a collective shift in consciousness to help Mother Earth, especially considering the current issues with pollution and environmental decline, the team wrote. They got that out of the message? Okay. I mean, it's not a bad message, but that's not how I interpreted it. Still, it's hard to ignore just how dubious the whole story sounds. As intriguing as it may be, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and so far, that evidence remains elusive. One thing's for sure, this strange metallic sphere isn't going away anytime soon. So here it is, and this is like what they presented. Here it is up on screen. They're just, it looks like they're washing the ball. It's a big metallic ball. They're dumping water on it, and it appears to be very wet at this point. And then they're presenting it at a UFO conference. That is, I think, one of the big UFO guys down there in Central America. And this is
Big Jim?
It's not Big Jim. I mean, it could be. We don't really know his name. I think his name is Jaime, maybe. I don't know.
Look at that man. He's all man. Look at him.
Big Jaime? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Big Jaime, maybe.
Big Sam. Big John.
Jaime Grande.
Where's Big Jim? He's around here someplace.
But these spheres are often talked about by a little-known UFO researcher, Patrick Jackson. He's an IT professional, and he looks at the UFO phenomenon from an IT perspective, and he thinks that these spheres are part of a defensive grid, an Earth defense grid, and oftentimes you'll see these spheres in triplicate. There's like 3 of them, and they're deployed when there is some sort of activity that needs to be monitored or controlled. And so it's almost like an autonomous drone system set up on Earth a long time ago, and it's continuing to be in use by somebody. So there it is. There is the footage of this sphere floating, and this is the one that they claim to have on the ground right now that they're examining. And it's tough. You know, Mick West claims that this is nothing more than a balloon. So,
what is Mick West's job?
He's a professional shitfucker.
Balloon.
Everything is to Mick West is a balloon, fake, phony, and false. There's nothing real in this world, according to Mick West. Nothing like this happens. And this is them finding it right there on camera. So, okay. I hope they crack the sucker open. I hope that they saw it open and see what's inside there. I think they've tried to do some like MRIs and X-rays, and they claim that there's like a circuit board or some sort of microprocessor inside, but that's unconfirmed at this point. So it's just a fascinating story, and
still looks like a salad bowl with some designs on it.
Yeah, a very ornate and fancy salad bowl. But that's what we got. Oh, yeah. And so I'll read down some headlines here. Ohio lawmakers are trying to roll back chunks of the voter-approved marijuana legislation. So a couple of years ago, Ohio voters voted to legalize marijuana, but the stupid Republicans in the state want to roll it back. They want to roll it back. They say, hey, that's too much freedom for you people. We got to roll back this stuff. So this is the Republicans being complete dumbasses and hypocrites.
What are they rolling back?
Well, they want to, I think, specifically, I'll bring it up. I'll read about it. It's very upsetting. I'm going to have to write my lawmakers in this town. And maybe you other fellow listeners in Ohio here, we can all write together. But lawmakers in Ohio heard testimony on Wednesday in opposition of a bill that would make major changes to the state's marijuana legalization law that was passed by voters in 2023. Among the adjustments, it would create new criminal penalties, eliminate equity programs, and set additional limits on legal products. At the hearing, let's see here, if I can get among the provisions, it would limit THC in cannabis products to 70% and prevent state regulators from adjusting or eliminating THC limits. Regulators could also not approve any new forms of adult use marijuana under the bill. It would further cap the number of active dispensaries statewide at 350. The measure would also outlaw the use and possession of cannabis not purchased from a licensed retailer or grown at home in accordance with the state. It would also prohibit the sharing of homegrown cannabis as well as cultivation on behalf of another person. So if you were growing it, you can't even share it with anybody else, which seems kind of hard to track. And it's just, I think it's so loosey-goosey, they'll just get you on anything. So that's the one I don't like there. It's like, you can't even share it. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous.
Well, especially if you're growing it at home, and you're clearly not. This is not like a business.
Yeah, it's
where
ridiculous.
You're growing stuff for distribution or something.
These are the old school conservatives that are awful. You got to get with the times. Stay out of people's lives. We passed this shit. Stay out of our lives, please. I gotta have marijuana.
I've got to have some marijuana.
Please. I had it for 1 second.
I need some marijuana.
I had it for 1 second, and then they took it away from me, okay?
I had the real pot. The real pot. I had it, but after 3 days of fighting with my husband and no sleep and taking abuse from my next-door neighbor, my husband took it away from me just 20 minutes ago.
See? We don't need that.
What's this abuse from the next-door neighbor crap? What's going on there?
She probably wasn't sharing enough weed with her next-door neighbor. They just took it away.
She was growing it just for herself.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks I'm crazy. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm really crazy.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So that's what's going on in Ohio, people. So we got to write and just tell them to stay out of our lives.
Is this a recent development? Is it going to go to the courts then, or?
It's fairly recent. So this was published on May 7th. So I think maybe when are they voting here? Sometime in June, I think. And so, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Back to some more headlines here. Let's see here. I have stuff on AI doing homework for kids, which we know. We have the new product that Sam Altman's trying to bring out is the all-seeing orb.
Is it like the one they have down in Chile or whatever it was?
No, different orb. This is the one. This is an orb you're going to buy, put in your house, or take with you everywhere, and it's just going to listen to everything you do. It's going to feed it into AI, and it's going to make recommendations for you and how you live your life. I don't think I'm going to buy that.
So how long after that comes out till the first person attempts suicide based on what the AI told them?
Oh, a couple days. Yeah.
2? Maybe 4?
Maybe 4 days. Yeah, I don't need this. I don't need to be bossed around by an AI. Sounds awful. We also have a story of the CIA using a Star Wars website to communicate with international spies. So that's a good one right there.
Red 5 standing by.
That was their code name for that project.
Red 5, yes.
This is Red 5. I'm going in.
I don't know if it's Star Wars news. I don't know.
Well, it's not really. If
really.
you dig into that story, there's one brief mention of it. They never go into the details on how they were communicating themselves. They were rather running some little chat window or something there. But they were using a whole series of websites for there was a Johnny Carson fan site and some other stuff there. So it's couched as Star Wars news because that's what catches people's attention, but it really isn't. So
okay.
He told me enough.
Yeah, you said enough. We don't need to dwell on it. Do you have a little David Wilcox news? I think there's a little clip of David Wilcox. He is, I guess, best known for writing books and being best friends with Corey Goode, the guy who claimed to be a super secret cyborg, 20 and back kind of guy. You know that guy. He was he sued everyone too. Like, he's very litigious. Like if you claim he wasn't part of a program that he was a super secret space soldier for 20 years, then he sues you because you're hurting his brand, and he does not like that. So keep that in mind. And then we have Real Life Panic as the haunted Annabelle doll. It's gone missing. You know about this doll? Correct?
I don't know anything about this. Is this the one that they found in? Was it in Florida that if you go in and curse at it, then
no, it's Robert. That was Robert. This is something different. So this is one they were going to take on tour. So the infamous doll that has been kept for years at a museum, once run by paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, that's gone missing. So I think that the Conjuring movies are about them. Anybody who has seen the various movies, the Conjuring in the Conjuring franchise will likely be familiar with the doll Annabelle, a notorious doll that the Warrens acquired back in the 1970s. The story goes that it was originally gifted to a student nurse who was later told by a medium that it was possessed by the spirit of a deceased girl named Annabelle. Before long, it was rumored that the doll had exhibited malicious behavior, ultimately leading to the Warrens taking possession of it and keeping it on display at their museum. But Annabelle's story didn't end there. Most recently, it was widely reported in the press that the doll, which had been traveling around as part of the Devils on the Run tour hosted by the New England Society for Psychic Research, had seemingly gone missing from its display case after reaching New Orleans. The rumor was sparked by stories from tour visitors who claimed they hadn't seen the doll. This news prompted considerable concern among fans who speculated that the Annabelle doll was now on the loose and capable of inflicting all manner of paranormal harm upon unsuspecting victims. But all's not as it seems. The Nesper lead investigator, Dan Rivera, quickly moved to debunk the claims that the doll had gone missing by demonstrating that it was, in fact, still in the case at Ed and Lorraine's museum. So there you go. All is well and good. The doll is not missing. It's a rumor, and it is safely at the museum. Okay, people? So no more panicking about a cursed doll on the loose.
Oh.
Were you scared there for a second, Cratchit?
I was not, because I don't know any of these movies or whatnot. So.
Okay. It was terrifying. You should have been scared.
Oh, sorry.
You should be a little bit more frightened when we read horrible stories like that. And by the way, I'm not a fan of taking cursed dolls on tour. I don't like that idea. I think it's a bad idea. Just leave them in the box. Don't interact with them.
Leave them in the box.
Yeah.
You stay here.
Stay in the box. You're not going on tour. But with that, let's move over to you, Cratchit. Let's see what you have over there for all the good people out there.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Oh, let me dig deep into the crevice here. I did get a request and put together a grunge version of a Missing 411 song.
Oh, nice.
Huh.
So I can include that on the upcoming LP.
I like that. What are you using for your grunge inspiration? Are you using a little Pearl Jam, maybe a little Alice in Chains, maybe a little Tad?
I used the Seattle Sound.
Oh, the Seattle Sound. That is one of my favorite sounds.
Let's see here. Oh, let's keep it lowbrow. I'll go with this one. It's recent. Okay. We've covered similar stories like this in the past of generally pilots or cyclists making drawing interesting shapes on GPS maps and fitness maps and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, here's another guy. Did this.
Okay. Well, we do like people who go the distance. That's for sure. Anyway, this is a headline up on screen right here. The giant penis took shape easily as I passed through a village called Three Cocks. Meet the artist athletes drawing with GPS.
Put that on my tombstone.
It's an elaborate tombstone, but okay. Oh my God, this is a well-defined, I would say, penis and testicles right there. It is almost rendered.
Penis man.
That's big too, Gretchen.
Yeah, read the first line in the article there.
That's crazy. I mean, that's insane.
Look at the size of that thing.
Yeah, Terry Rosamond ran almost 120 kilometers across the south of Wales to make a giant penis and testicles. That's insane.
What?
Well,
wow, that's pretty big.
Yeah. This could be the biggest one we've seen so far. This could be a record. I hope someone's keeping track of this.
I was going to say they should list it that way to encourage others to also try.
This is this is now the new Guinness record of the largest illustrated penis by running on GPS. It's very specific, but we like it that way. In 2013, I was in the worst shape of my life. Though I functioned well day to day, I was a heavy binge drinker and smoker, unfit, obese, and unhappy. On impulse, I signed up to a white-collar boxing fight. These are all great lyrics for my next song, too. These are great lyrics for my next grunge song. I trained 6 days a week for 3 months, shifting 3 stones by fight night. Winning the fight was great, though. Turning my life around has been my main goal. After that, I started challenging myself regularly while raising money for mental health charities by drawing giant penises with GPS. I put that part in there. He did not do that.
Oh, I told my guidance counselor that in high school.
Oh, look at this. He drew a shark, too. So, yeah, he also drew a shark when he was rowing his boat. So this is nice. I mean,
it's a different person who did the shark.
Oh, okay. Well, and then someone drew an eagle. Wow. They drew an eagle, too, with GPS. That's awesome.
Keep going.
What?
Okay. Oh, my God. Someone drew almost like a naked lady with GPS. That's crazy.
Yes.
Requires a lot of effort to do this. Oh my! And then someone drew kind of like a pixelated girl. I mean, it's fascinating. This is actually an interesting art form. This is should be in some museum exhibit at this point.
Yeah, I guess would you consider this performance art?
I don't know. I mean, this is where it's not necessarily performance art, but it has some illustrative quality to it. You are performing an action. You're relying on GPS to do the actual line, but you determine the line weight. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating experiment. It is an art form, I would say. It hasn't been. It's not an art. We're in the middle of an artistic movement. It has yet to be declared. Someone's just got to collect this stuff and do it. Like one artist, some really in shape artist has to do this. So, and put a little bit more meaning behind it. I guess you'd have to come up with a thesis statement. And depending on where you draw and what you draw can have a certain meaning for people. But there's something here. Okay. Yeah, great. A bunch of fit people. Someone just drew like a heart over France. You see this? That's crappy.
That's crappy.
Yeah.
I don't see the heart. Where's the heart?
It's a heart right over like France.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck?
Oh, that down. I didn't go far enough.
Yeah, you got to scroll down.
Got to keep going. I got stuck on the Pet Shop Boys.
Okay. Well, they continue. Someone's drawing a dog. They've done more research on this than probably foreign policy.
And who started the Ukraine war?
Yeah. We have more information on people drawing dogs and hearts with GPS than the whole Russia-Ukraine conflict and what that may mean for the entire world. Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. We're moving on, Gretchen. This article now made me angry.
Shucks.
Detailed reporting on giant penises across Wales.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see what do we got next. We got some more airplane shenanigans. We got
okay.
We got this. We got to do follow-up news here. This is from a couple of days ago. we have covered a number of times stories about people trading human body parts, and some of whom were people who actually worked in like a hospital or a morgue or something like that, and they were taking body parts and selling them on apparently there's like a massive underground
Facebook group.
Yeah, like there's a huge market for this stuff. So this is a follow-up on the guy from the Harvard Medical School morgue, basically admitting to his crimes.
An ex-Harvard Medical School morgue manager admits his role in the theft of human remains.
Man, I got mixed emotions about this one.
Yeah, this is like a bigger deal than anybody realizes, because not only I think we've been covering this for a long time. There's a Pennsylvania guy. There was
somebody like in
Alabama, and then remember this missing heads in Colorado.
Mm-hmm. They like lost all the heads out of a van. Yeah.
This is like we're scratching the surface with how morbid and dark this business is, but it's there, and this is like scratching the surface. But a former Harvard Medical School morgue manager has admitted to his role in the theft of and sale of human body parts, including hands, feet, and heads. Cedric Lodge, 57, of New Hampshire, pleaded guilty Wednesday in Pennsylvania to interstate transport of stolen human remains, federal prosecutors said. He could face up to 10 years in prison. The theft from the morgue in Boston occurred from 2018 through at least March of 2020, prosecutors said. Authorities stated that Lodge, his wife, and others were part of a nationwide network of people who bought and sold human remains stolen from Harvard and other mortuaries, such as Arkansas. So there we go. I guess maybe we were thinking of Arkansas instead, and when we said Alabama.
Why not both?
But I could have swore we did Alabama too.
I'll look it up.
I mean, I wonder if Gitz, our intrepid producer, could find all the times that we talked about people selling body parts or buying body parts, and that could be like a supercut special podcast. I think we're like the only podcast that's really tracking this stuff. Dennis Lott.
You want a super cut of just like we've got pieces of corpses?
Yeah, every time we've talked about it on the podcast for the past, I would say since 2020. Dennis Lodge and several other defendants have pleaded guilty to various charges stemming from the scheme. Prosecutors said that the negotiated online sales of several items included 24 hands, 2 feet, 9 spines, portions of skulls, 5 dissected human faces, and 2 dissected heads.
Ew.
That's crazy.
Human faces? Just the faces?
Yeah, that's insane.
Ugh.
That's crazy, man.
Also, I like how there's only 2 feet. You'd think that would go quick with all the weird fetish crap out there.
Maybe there's a lot of they're not a hide item, you know. Like you always see like feet washing up on the shore.
I can get feet anywhere.
Yeah, you can get them all.
Buy from you.
Let's go down to the seashore and find feet anywhere. Authorities have said that the dissected portions of the cadavers donated to the school were taken without the school's knowledge or permission. Yeah, right. Bodies donated to Harvard Medical School are used for education and teaching and research purposes only, okay? Once they are no longer needed, the cadavers are usually cremated and the ashes are returned to the donor's family or buried in a cemetery. But that doesn't always happen. Sometimes they get sold on Facebook. Or sometimes they wind up in a Goodwill. You can buy them at Goodwill, a Salvation Army. Covered that story too. A bit of a morbid story there, Cratchit.
Yeah, so I'm digging through the crevice here. We've got January of 2024, Harvard morgue theft ring.
Mm-hmm.
We've got May of 2023, Arkansas woman pleads not guilty to stealing over 20 boxes of stolen human body parts. We've got January of 2022, man didn't know body parts were stolen. Likely defense here, or likely excuse.
Yeah.
April of 2019, father and son charged with selling diseased body parts.
That is weird.
Let's see. And all the way back to, let's see here, April of 2019, family caught selling diseased body parts to medical centers. So lots of people selling body parts that they probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, disease. Like those things rot. You gotta keep them, and sealed up, vacuum sealed. Put them in your refrigerator.
So that's 5 years of stories just on a quick search digging through the crevice here of stories that we've pulled or at least brought up on the show, going back to April of 2019.
Yeah,
and I've got 3 stacks on this right here.
Yeah, we do.
One of those stacks when Alex does an InfoWars show, he always has papers everywhere. One stack is always just about body parts.
Pretty much, always at the ready,
just in case it comes up.
All right, let's see what else you got over there, Cratchit. Come on.
All right.
They can shoot a missile right into the crack of your ass.
I mentioned this one on the last show, I think, but we didn't cover it. But we did cover earlier today a person out drawing stuff. In that case, on GPS. Here's a guy drawing stuff in real life because he thought this was missing and the city needed it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice.
And there is a local news story.
Sounds like he's a good Samaritan.
He is a good Samaritan.
Let's see here. Charlottesville man arrested for drawing crosswalk.
This is quite the story.
It is. And so let me bring this up. This is a do-gooder. Remember, we had a similar story about this a few years ago where I think there's somebody in California that was filling in potholes.
Mm-hmm.
And
then we had one about Rod Stewart.
Oh, yeah. Good Samaritan Rod Stewart was filling in potholes, too. But I also think that we also had another story, maybe out in California, where they were drawing crosswalks and, street signage as well. Like, it's not unique. It's something that people like to do. It's a great hobby. I'll bring this up on.
It's a great hobby.
It is. Get you out of the house. Doing something positive for the community out there. And so, hold on one second. Let me get this.
One man is
Let me get this all synced up here. Here we go.
headed to court to face a property damage charge after he tried to hand paint a crosswalk on a busy intersection near X Park.
Fox Virginia's Sarah Allen has that story.
A Charlottesville man now facing up to a year in jail after being arrested on property damage charges after he tried to create a man-made crosswalk here at the intersection of Elliott Avenue and 2nd Street. Now, Kevin Cox tells me the reason he decided to do this in the first place is because he's seen how dangerous this intersection can be.
We can't get traffic control cameras. If the police won't enforce the law enough to communicate with people, then we have to turn to physical methods to slow drivers down.
After failed request at City Council for the marked crosswalk, Cox took the matter into his own hands. Last week, Cox says he used water-soluble spray chalk to paint the now covered white lines.
After I put the first thin line down, I heard people in amazement say, look at that, the drivers see it and they're slowing down.
But the makeshift crossing didn't last long. The city covered the crosswalk and immediately put a warrant out for Cox's arrest.
Yep.
Cox turned himself into CPD Wednesday, but he says the fight isn't over.
They are trying to use the system to punish someone.
Shannon Fitzgerald, a resident near the intersection, is wheelchair bound, and he says Cox's efforts are heroic.
There's no access to a crosswalk or anything like that to stop the traffic, and it's kind of dangerous, actually.
Fitzgerald says he hopes this will spark the city engineers to reconsider putting something at the intersection. City spokesperson Afton Schneider said in a statement, quote, "As this matter is now pending before the court, we will not be commenting further on the specifics of the case," end quote. Cox's hearing is set for Tuesday, May 27th, but he says he's confident in his defense team.
I have plenty of evidence. We have photographs of me doing it, and you can see the can in the container, and it says spray chalk.
He's
supplying
all the evidence.
Fox Virginia News.
You going to jail. He's basically saying, I documented all my crimes. My crime spree is fully documented, and I admit to it.
That's not a very good crosswalk, though. It didn't look very good.
Nah, he is old. Probably got shaky hands.
He's old.
Yeah. You got to get those GPS runners that they know how to run a straight line. Get those guys to run it for you.
I did find the story, May 2022. It was in Los Angeles, and it was a performance art group who went and installed very professional-looking crosswalks.
Nice.
That then the city went in and had to, grind off the street surface.
Yeah. They couldn't just let it be. They just couldn't let it be. No. These cities.
I don't know if you want that story. It's an NPR thing. They went all in on it, but yeah.
I do like tracking these very similar stories here. People are fed up with local governments. That's
this guy in where's this guy in North Carolina?
This guy was in Charlottesville,
Virginia. Yeah. So he needs to hire the group out of L.A. to come out in the middle of the night, put in a professional-looking crosswalk, and not take photos of himself or anybody else doing it. Never say a thing, and I bet it stays for years.
Yep.
Let's do it.
That's how you get away with this. If you do it right and it looks like it's the appropriate stencils, you put it down, you don't say a damn thing about it, I bet it stays.
I agree. Like this guy, he was trying to make a big name for himself.
Mm-hmm. He was trying to make a point, definitely, but yeah.
Well, yeah, he was trying to make a big name for himself, and he wanted to tell the community that he was doing something. He was obviously trying to get community support, and he thought he was going to be some vigilante, crosswalk maker. But no, you're going to jail for a long time too.
Going to federal pound me in my ass prison. In the chat, Kilroy Stabone says, should have done a rainbow crosswalk because then it'd be a hate crime for the city to remove it.
That's the winner right there, yeah. You make the cops show up and their heads will spin. They don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, we need to remove this.
But if
I touch it, it's a hate crime.
This is where the programming starts to fail. They don't know what to do. All right, Crash, let's see that was a good one. Let's see what else you got.
Me off.
All right, so this has been a trend for a number of years, and in Japan they said we've had enough of this. Please stop. This is not good. We don't want this anymore. So they're cracking down.
They're cracking down. Okay, let's see what they're cracking down on. Bring this up on screen right here. Japan cracks down on flashy baby names in new naming law reform.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a violation of free speech, but they don't care about that over there. This is Japan. They have a culture and a society to worry about. They don't care about your freedom of expression over there.
Okay.
Okay.
They don't care.
Al Gore's on board.
He's on board. Like, okay, let's do it. In an era of Japanese children being named Pikachu and Pudding, or even Prince, maybe drawing to a close as new regulations designed to curb eccentric naming practices take effect this week. The Japanese government has implemented new rules that will make it more difficult for parents to register Kira or flashy baby names, an increasingly common phenomenon that has sparked both fascination and concern. For years, Japan has allowed a high degree of freedom in naming children, largely due to the nature of the Japanese writing system. Names are typically written in kanji, characters that often have multiple possible readings. Parents could choose unconventional, even bizarre pronunciations for these characters, or pronunciations of these characters. A practice that led to children being named everything from Caesar to Pikachu, even while the kanji suggests otherwise. One notorious example is the name Shija, Caesar, formed from kanji meaning emperor, or even Irin, and stylized rendering of the English name Ellen using characters for eternal love. Other include Rambui, or love, or Purin, pudding, and now the band Pikachu. So, under the new rules, however...
Who would name your kid... The Pikachu thing is concerning, because that's known well enough across the world that would cause problems. But in Japan, where the Pokemon is just monstrously popular, that's like naming your kid, what would be the equivalent in the U.S.? Mickey Mouse or something? You're just asking for that kid to get worked over behind school every day.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, it's like naming your kid Hulk Hogan.
But as one word as the first name, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, just it. That's your first name is Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan Johnson.
Hulk Hogan Johnson.
Hulk Hogan.
The new policy is the result of years of deliberation by a dedicated government committee aimed to strike a balance between individual freedom and societal standards. The criteria remains somewhat ambiguous, but the underlying principle is clear. The child's welfare must come first. So keep that in mind, people. They're looking out for your child.
Look at your child. Your child.
That's what Biden's been doing since he left office.
He's on this committee. He's on this committee 24/7.
He and his best friend Otto Penn.
Oh yes. Let's see here. Supporters of the change argue it will prevent children from suffering due to their parents' overzealous creativity. In 2015, studies even link Kira names to higher rates of emergency room visits. Though whether this was due to neglect or overvigilance remains debated. Okay. Still, critics argue that the crackdown risks stifling linguistics evolution and self-expression. In an editorial, the liberal-leaning newspaper cautioned against excessive interference, writing names and readings of names written in kanji, like words in general, change with the times. Restrictions should be limited to an absolute minimum.
Talk about being deprived of your pride.
Yeah, your pride to name your child whatever the hell you want. A lot of pride comes with that. This is, okay. Well, Pikachu's out, people, okay? This is only going to create an influx of people to America to name their kids just to go back to Japan. You can name them whatever the hell you want over here. So it's going to have a new form of baby tourism over here just to name kids.
Well, that's an interesting concept.
Yep.
I don't know if it would fly, though. I mean, if you came over here, had a kid, named him, and then took him back, I don't know.
No.
How's that going to work?
Very strict naming over here.
Big Sam. Big John. Big Luther. Where's Big Jim? He's around here someplace.
Yeah, Trump runs
All kids must have the first name Big.
Yeah, Trump runs a tight ship here. You can come in for like some baby tourism, but those are the names you have to pick from.
He gives you a list. You pick.
You take your
7 names. That's all you get.
That's
too many Hulk Hogans. Damn it.
Big Jim Tucker.
Yeah, Big Jim Tucker.
That perfectly legal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tom
legit.
Pappert.
Nope. Big Tom Pappert.
Big Tom Pappert would work.
Shaky Stevenson Joseph.
Yeah, maybe.
Big Shaky Stevenson Joseph.
Paul Menegay, a 7-year-old.
No, not Paul Menegay.
Did he say Paul men are gay?
Paul Menegay, a 7-year-old.
I guess he did, kind of, yeah.
All men are gay? What?
Paul Menegay, a 7-year-old.
I guess so.
I'm not sure what's going on there.
The card says weird stuff sometimes when he's freaked out. Well, okay. That was I will say, that was quite the story.
This is quite the story.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to move on here. Here we go.
All right.
What else is going on?
So we'll stay with the Japanese theme, but we've had lots of stories in the past, I don't know, what do you say, the last year and a half about bad and dangerous behavior on airplanes in flight.
Oh, boy. It's really picked up in the past, I would say, almost 7 years.
It's less than that. I think it's just been the last, almost like it's post-COVID maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, okay,
but here's another one where we have some more shenanigans going on a plane in flight that is not going to go well if this person's successful.
Okay. Yeah. People trying risky stuff out there. Let's see. Japan flight made emergency landing after man tried opening the door.
That's some good news on that front.
Yeah, they landed. That's good. They got down. That's good news. People are safe. A Japanese plane headed from Tokyo to Texas had to make an emergency landing after a passenger tried to open one of its doors during the flight. The All Nippon Airways Flight 114 was diverted to Seattle hours after taking off on Saturday due to an unruly passenger.
Probably upset about his kid's name.
Probably. He's like, hey, I can't name my kid what I want anymore.
I'm taking a whole plane down.
Japan's gone to shit. Port Seattle police told media that they had been notified of a man who attempted to open exit doors during the flight. The man who was not identified, okay, we don't know who it really is.
Me,
Hulk Hogan.
No, I don't.
He's strong enough to do it.
He could do it. He could open one of those doors by himself. He was later taken to a hospital. It's unclear if he will face any charges. The man was not identified, was having a medical crisis and had to be restrained by other passengers and flight crew. There's got to be video of this. There's got to be a video of this guy, of Hulk Hogan being restrained.
Yeah, let me dig around. Of Hulk Hogan being tackled by a bunch of Japanese folks as he's trying to open the door on a plane in flight.
Yeah, it's one of those questions you ask ChatGPT. Has Hulk Hogan ever been restrained on a Japanese airplane when he tried to open up an exit door during flight? Let's see here. While the plane was waiting on the tarmac of Seattle Tacoma International Airport, a second person was removed from the flight for being unruly. So they're just popping off over there on this flight. Flight data shows that the plane made it to its destination, George Bush International Airport in Houston, on Saturday around 12:40 local time. This is the latest in a string of similar incidents. In April, a Jetstar flight from Bali, Indonesia, was forced to turn around during its journey to Melbourne after a passenger similarly tried to open a plane door while in midair. Last November, a man who tried to open up a plane door during an American Airlines flight was restrained and tied up by fellow passengers with duct tape. Was that the guy? That could have been the guy on mushrooms.
Well, there's the guy on mushrooms who he was the pilot in the jump seat. And he reached up to turn off the fuel flow.
That was he was trying to bring the whole thing down. But then in 2023, 9 passengers of an Asian Air Flying flight was sent to the hospital with breathing difficulties after a man successfully opened the aircraft's emergency exit door prior to its landing in South Korea. Holy crap! This is like a string. Why don't they just lock those doors?
Okay.
Well, this is clear that's a manufacturing problem. Why would you need to put locks on plane doors? Who would be dumb enough to open the door in flight? But apparently now we're at that point.
Me, Hulk Hogan.
Every freaking time. Walk right into it.
Yep. Who is doing this? Yes. It's very concerning. One of the many reasons why I don't like to fly.
By the way, you asked for it. So now you have to look at this.
Okay. Is it Hulk Hogan trying to open up a door? There it is. Yeah, there's Hulk Hogan trying to open up a Japanese airplane door with mid-flight, and there's a lot of Japanese men around him. I don't know if they're helping him or trying to restrain Hulk Hogan. I can only assume that they're trying to restrain him.
Well, you know, Mean Gene, I'm worried about a lot of things, man.
Got to open up this door. It's too constricted in here. I gotta get out of this place,
brother.
I gotta get out of this place.
Gotta get off this plane, brother.
I get the 3 commandments for a foundation, the training, the prayers, the vitamins, brother.
I'm glad this is what we use AI for.
Yeah, this is the best. So which AI image generator you use Grok for that?
That was ChatGPT, Sora.
They did a great job. Wow, look at that.
This is a disgrace on the part of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, he's trying to bring down the entire plane. It is a disgrace. I don't like Hulk doing this.
Those are my shirts. I've got a right to sell them.
He's angry about a business deal, I see.
Oh, man.
Okay, we'll move on.
So I'll just warn you, if you ever happen to be on a plane with Hulk Hogan, keep an eye on him.
He'll open that thing right away. He will
open that door right away.
Just sitting back. Just let him do his thing.
Wow,
as soon as the plane starts taxiing,
for a big guy.
As soon as they push back, he's jumping up, getting that door open.
What do you think?
No, you're going to kill us. Close it all. I don't
Maybe
think
he was trying to introduce people to that Japanese guy he knows.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, exactly. Hiro Matsuda, the Japanese guy. Yeah.
Well, I could set you up with Hiro Matsuda, this Japanese guy.
He's right over here. Let me open up the door. No,
hey, we're right over his house. Let's say hi.
I can see his house from here. Let's go. No, Hawk, please. You shouldn't do that.
Jeez.
You're going to kill everyone.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Thanks, AI.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we could use it for so many things, but it's
This is the best.
Hulk Hogan
The best use of it.
Door.
And Hulk Hogan, I used to really reclone Hulk Hogan's voice too. I really should.
I'm going to try to get through this video without crying,
Yeah, it's
but
not
I need to
close.
address this and take accountability.
Yeah.
To all my pog champs and piss babies, I'm sorry pilled.
Yep.
To all the himbo simps and normie incels, F in the chat. I horny posted on Maine, and that was cringecore to say the least. I'm working hard to stop being the shit lib sigma cumlord. I'm working hard every day to be the turbocharged mommy dom gamer girl that I know that I can be. In the past, I was in power cringe mode, but I'm built different now. I'm based and Chad-pilled, and I hope you all can see that. I need a big cope. My vibes have apology energy right now, and I just hope you guys are forgiveness-pilled.
Yeah, we can do better now. I think the technology has advanced way more.
Let's see. Did you bounce me out of that one?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. So here's another one with a local news story about some folks who were surprised by something kind of coming to visit. So maybe this also came out of the plane that Hulk Hogan was trying to open the door on over somebody's house.
Maybe. Let's see. Black bear falls through ceiling in Bell County home, officials say.
Oh, really?
Oh, damn. Okay, yeah. Poor guy. Let's just listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
Feel bad for these bears. It's a bear. It's too big to be a bear. It's probably a gorilla.
Too big to be a bear.
Too big to be a bear. Let's break this open right now. Feel sorry for these animals.
Kentucky authorities say a black bear was found in a Bell County home Officials say a game warden responded to a call about a black bear being inside the home Wednesday. The bear was found sitting on the stove in the kitchen. Authorities were able to get that bear out of the home through an open door, but now it is the question, how did it fall through the ceiling? Officials determined the bear climbed up a ladder outside the home, squeezed through an opening into the attic, and then it fell through the ceiling.
Yeah. Well, look at this closely. This large animal is causing a big...
That was it. That was the end of the story. They're just looking at a fox or animal or something like that. So, yeah, that's it. Bear fell through the ceiling. That's it. Looked kind of stunned. Like the picture I saw, it looked stunned. Like it didn't really expect to fall down through the ceiling. It dropping that kind of height.
Many questions as to why there's a bear. Why do you have a ladder on the outside of your house to allow bears to get into your house?
Mm-hmm.
Why is your attic not bear safe? And while the bear was in the kitchen, did it make itself any food?
I didn't realize. So this is out of Kentucky. I didn't realize they had bears in Kentucky.
There's bears everywhere.
Well, I didn't. Do Ohio have bears? I think only a very small portion of Ohio may have bears. But I'm not concerned about bears around here. Am I? Should I be?
I'm pretty sure there's black bears in Ohio.
Really? I got to worry about that now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's find out.
I don't want to worry about black bears in Ohio. I'm worried about coyotes and foxes and raccoons and turkey vultures. I don't want to worry about black bears.
So here's the current and past range of black bears in North America. So Ohio is right there.
Yeah, okay. But it's not like a lot of them.
But no, I don't think there's a lot. I think people live there, but
all right. We do have some black
bears. I think it's still there's still some potential to see some black bears in Ohio.
Okay. I didn't know that, but I'll keep that in mind.
Most of them do come through kitchen ceilings, so be careful.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Luckily, I don't have a ladder leading up to my second floor where a bear would want to get up and then crash.
And that's why you've never seen a black bear in Ohio. If you had put that ladder up, they'd come into your house and you could greet them.
Yeah, that is true. And I don't
make sure you have some food prepared for the bear.
Okay. I will see what I can do.
The customary bear greeting.
Yeah. Okay.
Black balls.
No, black bears.
Nope. Bear.
Black bears.
I wonder if it's is that a good omen or is that like a harbinger of bad news? What's that mean?
Oh boy. I'm not to say bad news because you think about all the repair work you got to do, but also this bear could have been doing some duct work. We don't know. He could have been like a contractor.
This guy hired his bear under the table to do some unlicensed contracting.
Yeah, he's doing some under the table contracting duct work. He's my AC
Man,
guy.
these guys at Yogi's Attic Repair are cheap.
He's my HVAC guy.
Says they just work for honey.
Great deal.
Great deal. Until they come through your roof and the ceiling into your kitchen.
And they subcontracted it out to some buyer that's unlicensed. That's what happens.
He's not wearing his fall protection. Where's your harness?
Yeah, he's got no hard hat on either. He's totally unprepared to work up there. All right, let's move on. We got maybe time for one or two.
All right.
People are suffering.
Well, let's see. I'll give you a choice here. You've got a story that Kansas City, and I mentioned this in the last show, Kansas City is number 1 in the world for storage and transportation of dog semen.
All right. Way to go, Kansas City.
And then another story is people have developed infrared contact lenses so you can see in the dark.
That's pretty good news, too, but I think we need to celebrate Kansas City.
All right.
I'm all riled up.
Yeah, I'm all
as a former resident of Kansas City. I'm proud to see the town recognized in such a way.
Kansas City comes first worldwide in the storage and transportation of dog semen.
That's good news.
It is. Congratulations, Kansas City. I want a T-shirt with this on it. There is a river of animal semen that runs right through the middle of Kansas City region. This is because Kansas City is part of the Animal Health Corridor, an official designation that reflects our concentration of animal health companies. Officially, the corridor runs from Manhattan, Kansas to Colombia, Missouri, and boasts 56% of the total nationwide animal health, diagnostics, and pet food sales.
Yes.
Companies like Zoetis perform research and development for animals, care and feeding, and product development. This also includes storing semen from all animals and shipping it to customers who need to expand their health for horses, pigs, cattle, and our pets. So they got tons of semen, all the demon sperm and you could ever want, right there.
Ugh. Demon sperm.
Yeah. Horse sperm, pig sperm, demon sperm, cattle sperm, dog sperm. It's all there. The science behind breeding is well established, but the process seems verboten to those outside the industry. However, in this billion-dollar industry, that has far-reaching consequences. So there we go. We do need a T-shirt with this. And this is quite a long, lengthy article about animal semen. Let's see here. Is there a juicy part of this?
Ew.
Let's see.
Scroll down to sometimes.
Sometimes it's as simple as putting a male and female dog together in the same room. Other times it's a bit more complicated, especially if the female is 1,000 miles away. Manual stimulation is the way to do it, said Kathy Rasmussen of the KCK9 Reproductions. She has been breeding dogs for 30 years. That's a lot of dog fucking. And founded her business with Dr. Bruce Chambers in 2007. She claims she has been around she has around a 92% success rate with impregnation. Sometimes she uses what's referred to as a teasing bitch. This is a female dog that entices a reluctant male. It gets his confidence up, and it gets you more of a sample. So you're producing more juice.
Okay.
All right.
We're doing it.
That's what Al Gore's been doing.
Yeah, he's there cheering on the dog semen collection. He likes it. He likes that.
Calm down. Don't be so crazy.
I like how she goes right into manual stimulation, and also she's been doing it for 30 years. That's a lot of dog knobbers.
That is. That's cranking a lot of knobs right there.
I'm going to get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
The dogs don't like that. They don't. They'll growl at you if you knob their knobs too much. Semen is stored one of two ways. A straw or a pallet. I'll take a pallet of dog semen, please.
Oh, God. One pallet, please. What are you doing with all that? Mind your business.
None of your business what I do with. Halloween's coming up.
Christmas, I need gifts.
I need a lot of pallets. The pellets look like BB size and is frozen until it's ready to shoot. It's shot. Oh, you could probably put that in your pump action rifle right there.
Ew.
Pump action dog semen. These frozen samples can be stored indefinitely in cryogenic facilities until the time is needed. Currently, Kathy has around 4,500 semen samples ready to go for clients. She's packed to the gills.
like she wears them around on a bandolier.
Here you go, passing them out like Tic Tacs.
Oh.
The truly tricky part is the artificial insemination, which remains the most uncomfortable question I've ever asked. How do you inseminate a bitch with frozen semen?
Sounds like the lead up to a punchline.
It does. They're really pouring it on here.
Ask ChatGPT to write a joke for that.
Yeah. Kathy explained that while fresh semen can be introduced into a female, defrosted sperm cannot. It lacks the mobility of fresh sperm. And the results are more haphazard. Once the semen is thawed, the female dog has a small surgery where the sperm is implanted into the fallopian tubes. This is done by a veterinary clinic that offers those services, and there are plenty here in Kansas City. They love to do it there.
That's what Kansas City's known for. Barbecue and dog surgery for impregnation.
Mm-hmm. Common has on their T-shirt.
Yep.
Wow. I didn't know we were going to do that, but let's end on that one, the dog semen story. That was an unexpected story and showcase a part of America I didn't realize existed.
Well, and people with 30 years of experience.
Be proud, Kansas City residents. You're number one. And
you're number one in dog whacking it.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. Pretty crazy.
Holy shit.
Yep. Another surprise resident right there. Just found out. Well, thank you all for hanging out for this OBDM podcast episode. Hope you learned a lot, maybe too much. Until then, you can go to obdmpod.com or ourbigdumbmouth.com. And if you're really bored, you can go check out Doom Scrolling. Sam and I put out a podcast last night. You can check it out on Sam's YouTube channel or Twitter page. Or you can subscribe to the RSS feed. Just search Doom Scrolling. No G at the end. And just search for Sam Tripoli's name. You'll find it. We're on Spotify and all those places. I also made a secret appearance last night on the Cruising with Steak podcast.
Oh, how'd that go?
It's good. I love those guys. It was nice to talk to Grim and say hi to James Cruz and Jerry Cthulhu, and R.S. Harmful is in there. He's a very famous Discord member. He was over there hanging out too.
There's a lot of people.
They got a big crew. They talk about a lot of big topics. You need a big crew like that over there.
It's like you need the unwanted size. You get like 18 or 20 people in there.
Yeah, but these guys talk about everything. We talked about like Star Wars, pole shifts, and everything. It's all over the place. Which I like. It's just boom, boom,
but
boom.
Did they cover the transportation of dogs?
No, they didn't cover that one. Hopefully they'll cover that next week.
Yep.
It's on tap. And Joe said he'll be back soon. Joe did announce that he will be back soon. His freelance is winding down, so in the next few weeks, Joe should be making an appearance again.
Yeah, he said he's finishing up one project. He's got another one to do. So yeah, maybe he'll be back by the time because that week I'm going to miss both shows due to some work stuff. So.
Yeah.
Well, so what I liked about the Pooh movie is that it was a new movie.
Yeah. He's like the Pooh movie.
The Pooh movie.
Yeah. Thank you, Cratcher. Thank you, everyone. Shablagoo.
Keep watching the skis because Hulk Hogan's trying to open that door.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Right. What are you trying to do with your life to help you?
That's about all.
Shablagoo.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Till next time,
take care of yourself and each other.
Well, now you know the rest of the story.
This sucks, and it sucks bad.